up was being able to understand that it wasn't going to be that that they were evil to me, especially as a black woman. You know, a single black woman. Sometimes they look at you and they think, oh, you're just here trying to get married to an Italian man or something. Different part of Rome. I'm actually right by the immigration services area. I went today to get my permit to stay renewed, and I just thought I would do a little video to show you exactly where it is if you need to do this yourself. So we are on Via Teofilo Patini, or Teofili Patini. So it's right there. This is the building. I don't want to film too much of it, but this is the area, what it looks like. It's not very easy to get here in terms of safety. I feel like it could be a little bit more safe, but there's not really like a sidewalk or anything like that. But let's get to the point. The point is this, that the process to get your permit to stay renewed or to get your permit to stay can seem very daunting, and I'll tell you it was for me. Having to do this sort of independently, but I also had a lot of help from my university and from friends, so it wasn't so terrible. One of the things I wanted to say is that it's a lot faster now. I went today and I got there around 8:30, and I'm finished now basically before 9:30. So within an hour I was in and out, and first of all, the first part, about 40 minutes of it, I spent waiting simply just to get in for the 9 o'clock time slot, which is when I have my appointment. So it's really a lot easier than I thought it would be. Once I got in there, I had my paperwork, everything I needed, and boom, it went by. And so in the next 40 days, I will receive my new permit to stay, which will allow me to stay here for another year and look for work, which is the key thing that I wanted to try to do, was to get the ability to look for work legally and not have to worry so much about just worry. So this is a great moment. I probably won't release this video until after I have my permit to stay in my hand, just because I am very superstitious in that way. So the way you get here is you actually have to go to the Rebibbia train station, so it's the last stop on the blue line. From there you take the 447 bus in the direction of Stazione Rebibbia. But basically you want to look for a stop called Tor Cervana, I think it is, Costi. That stop, you get off and you will be able to get to the immigration offices that way. But I'll just show you, because I'm heading back now from there, so we're gonna head all the way back to the metro station. Okay, the road straight ahead that you can see there, on that road you make a right to get to the Immigration Services Center. Now I'm going down this road here, and I haven't gotten the name yet, but I will. And I'm going to be making another right on the next intersecting road. I find that this way is a lot easier because there's a bit of a sidewalk. The other way, there's no sidewalk whatsoever. You can see it's a pretty industrial neighborhood. Yeah, this is industry. I've heard that this area is not terribly safe. I believe that there's a prison somewhere close by, but then again, there's a prison in Trastevere, so I don't know that says much. Probably there's also a high immigrant population here, so that might be part of what people consider unsafe. I don't know. Personally, I wouldn't want to live out here, just because it is farther away from everything and doesn't seem like there's much of anything that I have an interest in going on. You know, I think I've passed like a couple of cafes that also look like gambling areas. I don't know. So it doesn't really look like, and also too, I think it would be very difficult to get around in this neighborhood. You would need a car, definitely. And I'm not about that life. So no car for me. Okay, so the road that I'm going on is Via Alessandro Manosco. Okay, we're making a right on Via Alessandro Manosco, and then we made the left onto Via Alvari. Okay, and then we made another right. and then we made a right again. But I will detail the directions exactly, but just so you get a visual of where you have to go, what it's like. The trip from Garbatella was not very long. In all, it took me like an hour to get here. Literally from my house to here, it was like an hour, because I left my house this morning around 7:20 and I arrived here around 8:20. So it was very easy to do it. And you know, just find yourself a seat on the metro and you are good to go. One of the key things for me when doing any kind of traveling around the place, because I'm not so great with names, especially foreign names, much as English names, I try to use markers. And these markers help me to figure out where I need to go, if I'm in the right place. So for example here, I know that the bus stops right in front of this cafe, and when we get closer you'll see it. It's Cafe New York 777. And once I see that, then I know I'm at the right bus stop and I can get off here and get to where I need to go. So that's the bus stop where you'll get off of. So yeah, Torcervara, not Torcervara Costi. And you can see the sign for the Questura, but it's not the right one, it's another one. You kind of have to turn down this road, which is the Via Alessandro Manosco. Then you're going to go on to Via Alvaro, I think it's called, and then make that right. Okay, so right now I'm waiting on the bus to come. This is the 447 bus that will take us back to the Rebibia's train station. And from there, I'm going to be taking the train all the way back to Garbatella. I am rather tired, and this has been a pretty nerve-wracking process. Just in general, the basic steps to getting your permit to stay renewed, and I'm speaking specifically for people who are students, graduating students, and want to get the opportunity to stay longer in Italy and to work for about a year, you know, at least to look for a job, to have the possibility to look for a job. So what you need to do is I would go to, I think they're called Patrona. Basically this is sort of helpers. They will help you with immigration services, and I'll show you where that is in Garbatella, but there are many around the place. And you go to one of them and you sit down and they'll tell you, okay, if you have a degree, you know, it doesn't matter if it's an Italian university or American university, but once you have a degree that you achieved here in Italy, then you have the possibility to apply for this permit to stay, to look for work. So this is one of the great things. I mean, there's also a what is it called, conversion question, or you know, being able to apply for conversion of your permit to stay, to study, to permit to stay to work. But I did not do that. I'm looking for, you know, I was looking for a permit to stay to look for work. So that gives me about a year. What else can I say? So once you do that, they will advise you to get, of course, things like insurance. And insurance, you need to get that from, you can get that from the post office actually. And there are two different types that they have now. There is the, what's it called now? It is called, I'm forgetting the name. But there is a one that costs around 60 euros. And there are some stipulations around it. I'm still not quite sure if I understand them. And then another one that would cost basically about 100 euros or something like that for the year. So once you have those things, then you're fine to go with the insurance bit. Even though no one asked me at all for my insurance paperwork, I have it in my bag. I thought that they were going to ask me about that, but they didn't. All they really wanted to see was I had applied, I put an application for being unemployed, which I'd done already, and I had my old permit to stay, my passport information, a letter from my university saying that I graduated from there, and I think that was it. The biggest thing was being able to understand that it wasn't going to be that that they were evil to me, especially as a black woman, you know, a single black woman. Sometimes they look at you and they think, oh, you're just here trying to get married to an Italian man or something, which is not my case. So that was challenging for me to figure that out, was to be able to say, okay, it's not going to be so terrible, they're not going to treat you like shit. because that's what I thought for sure. When I got there, they were very pleasant. They were very nice to me. It was very easy to do it. Oh, by the way, yeah. So you get this packet. You get it from the patrona, from these people. They put it together for you. Then you take this packet and you go to the post office, and that's where you actually pay for the permit to stay. I think in total I paid around 150 to 200 euros, something like this, to get it all done. There was like 150 for the permit to stay itself, but then like a 30 euro charge, I think, for processing. So yeah, call it around 180 euros to do the permanent to stay renewal. Then after that, you need to get yourself some passport size pictures, 4 of them. And of course, always make sure you have all your original documents and copies of those documents. You don't need another copy of the application itself. You just need a copy of your documents. Okay, I think I see the bus is coming. All right, so I'm gonna get on the bus and then I'm gonna...
Next time.
Okay, so I'm walking on the street with my friends, Sammy and Nika. We are on Via del Corso, and Sammy doesn't want to be shown, but that's okay. We're gonna show her anyway. Alright, so we're standing outside I'm standing outside the Anglo-American bookshop. Here's where a lot of the study abroad students come to buy their books, and it's very cool. So you can see inside it's a bit expensive in comparison to the other English bookstore here, which is called almost